Hello everyone, how are you? I'm Ramneek and welcome to my channel Haproso Agriculture. So today I'm going to share this topic with you, which is organic and inorganic compounds. Yep. So basically, organic and inorganic is the word that will be, coming again and again in front of us during our agricultural study. So I thought, why not give it a small amount of time, 5 to 10 minutes, and just have a basic understanding of it. So let's get started. What is a compound? Basically, we need to know. Compound will be made up of atom 1 and atom 2. That is, maybe this is a carbon atom and this is an atom of oxygen. So these are both different elements. When they form a bond together, that means it is a compound. It forms a molecule of compound. Okay, and these are the examples. However, if both the atoms are of oxygen itself, do we call this a combination a compound? No, we'll call it a molecule of an element itself, because both the atoms contain same element, that is oxygen, and these are the electrons. You must have studied in your chemistry classes, and these are the examples: O2 and 2H2. Okay, now we can simply move on to what is organic. So carbon is a main element in organic compound. So basically, whenever the word organic comes into your mind, the first thing that must come is carbon. Any organic compound will surely have carbon in it. Okay, so carbon is a main element in organic compound, but not every carbon compound is an organic compound. So if we talk about organic compounds, they will for sure have carbon. But if we say that any and every compound that has carbon is organic, then that's wrong. That's not the case. There are many compounds which have carbon, but still they are inorganic in nature. Okay. Example is carbon monoxide, which is a not organic compound, because in this example, carbon has not formed a bond with hydrogen. Let us understand what's that. So basically, if we have to call a compound an organic compound, so these are three fundamental things to call a compound an organic compound. First thing is it has a carbon atom in it. That is the most basic thing. Second thing is the carbon atom in it forms a covalent bond with hydrogen. Okay, in most cases this will be there, that the carbon atom which is present in a compound, that will be forming a covalent bond with hydrogen. Now what is the covalent bond? Let us understand. See, you saw these atoms right here. Okay, this is atom 1 and this is atom 2. They are joining together. How are they joining together? These are the electrons that are making them join together. So maybe they are joining by giving one electron hair to hair, or from hair to hair one electron is moving and rendering negative positive charges. Okay, one condition is that. Second condition is they retain their electrons but they share. For example, I have a cup of tea, you have some biscuit. Okay, I say that let us share. I give you half a cup of my tea and you give half a packet of your biscuit to me, and we both eat together. That forms a covalent bond. So that is basically covalency. They both retain their electrons but they share that with other one. Okay, so having a covalent bond is the second most important thing in an organic compound. Okay, first most important thing is carbon, and it is the carbon only that will be forming covalent bond with any other. Most basically, in many cases it will be hydrogen, but it will not be hydrogen always. Okay, it can form, carbon can form covalent bond either with hydrogen or with other elements also. So you are now done with what is organic. Okay, the other slides will just be extension of or just a revision of this concept itself, that what is organic. Okay, so these are the three most basic things. These are the examples: methane, CH4, etc. For example, urea. Urea has carbon in it. This is the chemical formula. It has hydrogen in it, but it does not form a covalent bond with hydrogen, but it forms a covalent bond with nitrogen also and oxygen also. Thus, it is called organic. Okay. Next, other examples are proteins, carbs, blood sugar, that is glucose, lipids, fats, waxes, nucleic acids, the very nucleic acids, DNA, RNA, everything is organic. And what is inorganic then? Opposite to that, it does not consist of carbon, either it does not consist of carbon only, but in some cases maybe it has carbon, then maybe it does not form a carbon hydrogen bond. Okay, it has carbon but there is no carbon hydrogen bond, then also it might be inorganic in nature. Still we'll not call it inorganic. We'll look for the third thing: does it form a covalent bond of carbon with any other element? If it does, then most probably, not always, most probably it will be organic. Okay, and if it doesn't form a covalent bond with any element, it will be inorganic in nature. Okay, so these are the examples. Water doesn't have carbon in itself. Okay, so it will be called inorganic. Diamond, the salt that we use, sodium chloride, they doesn't have uh, all the properties of being called as organic. uh, Now we come to carbon dioxide, carbides, carbonates, cyanides. They all have carbon, but they are still inorganic in nature. They might be missing any of these properties, maybe. Let us see in further slides. So, before we talk about that, in 19th century, before 19th century, the scientists were of the point of view that anything that is organic, it has to come from living organisms. So any compound that is organic, that will be coming from living things only. But yeah, before we move forward, this is the case in agriculture still, not in complete agriculture, only when we talk about agricultural fertilizers terminology. So when we call organic fertilizer, what comes to your mind? The farmyard manure, all the organic manures that we are directly, taking from living beings only. And when we call inorganic fertilizer, what comes to your mind? Urea, chemically being organic, we call it an inorganic fertilizer because it is being made in chemical laboratory itself, chemically. Okay, so although in agriculture still that's the case, but this point of view has evolved over time. And the first time in history, Frederick Wöhler was a German scientist who in 1828 discovered urea. He prepared urea in lab itself. Urea was prepared from inorganic substances, but it was an organic substance in itself. It was called an organic substance. So since then, the point of view of organic and inorganic has been, changing. So according to modern view, a compound is called organic if it contains carbon, it is covalently bonded with any elements. Okay, and that carbon atom is covalently bonded with maybe hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, phosphorus, or any other halogens. Not necessarily hydrogen only, most of the cases it will be, but it can be the other way around also. Okay, so what are the examples of organic compounds without carbon hydrogen bonds? See, urea itself, it is the example. It has hydrogen, but it forms covalent bond with only nitrogen and oxygen. Similarly, thioamides also, they have hydrogen, see here, but the covalent bond that is formed only with sulfur and nitrogen and between the carbon. Okay, carbon disulfide and carbon tetrachloride does not have hydrogen at all. They form their carbons form covalent bond with sulfur and chlorine respectively. So does the presence of covalently bonded carbon to any element makes it organic? Yes, but there are exceptions. There are exceptions, and these are the same words that we read before. These are the elements that have all those three properties of being called as organic. Still, they are being called as inorganic only, and these are the reasons. What are the reasons? They are simple mineral type substances. What does that mean? If they are simple and being called inorganic due to that reason, that means that organic compounds or substances are not simple in nature. Their formation is not simple, they are complex. Okay, so they are called inorganics because they are simple in formation. They don't form long chains or complex molecular frameworks like organics. They don't behave chemically like organic compounds, no substitution or addition, etc. Okay? And historically, they were known before organic chemistry came. So, scientists found it better to keep them under inorganic only because of these reasons. Okay? Because they were basically not behaving like organic compounds. So this is just a revision. First point of difference is having carbon. Organics will have carbon and will form covalent bonds with any of these, while inorganics will be without carbon. Even if they have carbon, they will not be forming covalent bond with hydrogen or other elements. Okay, the exceptions I told you. Then organic ones will be derived from living organisms like plants, animals, or their remains. Okay, may or may not be. Most probably they will be. Okay. Then derived from inorganics will be derived from minerals, rocks, and non-living sources. Organics will be mostly covalently bonded, and inorganic will be mostly ionic bonds. What are the ionic bonds? When the electron itself gets shifted from one atom to another. Okay, when there is give and take of electron, complete electrons move from one place to another. Then organic ones, what are the properties now? Organic ones will have low melting boiling points. Okay, and they will be having volatile nature. What is volatile nature? On normal temperatures also they can change from solid to gas or liquid to gas. Okay, while inorganic ones will be having very high boiling points or melting points, and they will be non-volatile. That means on normal temperatures they will not change from solid or liquid to the gaseous form directly. Okay, if they have to, the temperatures need to be very high. Then organic ones will be less soluble in water, and inorganic ones will be more soluble in water. So you can basically remember this point from the fact that water is itself inorganic in nature. So inorganics will dissolve in inorganic substance easily, and organics will dissolve in organic ones easily. Okay, so water being inorganic will be a good solvent for inorganic substances, while those compounds that are organic in nature, they will be dissolved in organic compounds or organic things only easily. Okay, like in oil or maybe alcohol, if I'm not wrong. Okay, then comes organic ones will burn easily, as we know that living beings burn easily, and they will be having more combustible nature, and they will also leave carbon dioxide or many times H2O water behind. And generally inorganic ones are non-combustible in nature, means they don't burn. Even if they burn, they need to have very 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 high temperatures to burn. Then organic ones will be large complex chains or and will be forming ring structures. Inorganic will be simple small molecules or crystalline salts. Examples are these, as I already told you, and here DAP, MOP, etc. are inorganic. Then comes, then we come to fertilizers basically. The sources of fertilizers. So in case of fertilizers, we still use that old perspective and old terminology of organic and inorganic in case of fertilizers in agriculture. If the fertilizer is coming from living thing, then it is bound to be organic in nature. The green manures, the farmyard manure that comes from cow dung, etc., the poultry manure, etc., everything will be organic. The biofertilizers, okay. The inorganic fertilizers will all contain those that are being formed in laboratories. So what will the properties be? They will be derived from plant and animal residues, and these will be manufactured chemically from minerals or industrial processes. The examples you already know, okay. Then organic fertilizers nutrient percentage, there will be great difference, okay. uh, in organic fertilizers, the concentration of nutrients will be low, while number of nutrients will be variable. We cannot say that one specific fertilizer is having only one or two nutrients in it. Organic fertilizer may have one nutrient slightly in greater percentage than other, but the number of nutrients will be variable and their percentages respectively will be low. While when we are preparing them in laboratories, we will obviously prepare, concentrated fertilizers. Like urea will be having greater amount of nitrogen, and DAP will be having greater amount of phosphorus, and that too in very high percentage, and that percentages also are fixed. I think you must be remembering. You can, go on. You can go with telling those percentages in the comment section. How much percentage of nitrogen is there in urea, phosphorus in DAP, potassium, MOP, etc., and many other fertilizers. Whatever comes to your mind, that will be good for you to remember also, and we'll also cover that in upcoming classes. So, you already know that inorganic fertilizers will have fixed and high concentrations of specific nutrients. For example, urea is known for nitrogen itself. But if we talk about farmyard manure, we cannot say that only one single nutrient is coming in maximum from that, okay? Because it will be a complete package of nutrients coming from there. Then nutrient release. Nutrient release will be slow and long lasting here, while in inorganic ones, fast and immediate. Okay, that is the reason why neem coated urea came, because earlier when we used to put urea, it very readily got absorbed by the plant roots, and after that there was deficiencies and all. We wanted that urea consumption by plant must be slow, steady, and over a longer period of time, that the urea doesn't go waste or leach down, okay. Leach down, whatever. Then comes effect on soil. What is the effect on soil for organic fertilizers? Improves physical, chemical, and biological properties. Obviously, it will. All of us know. And this may degrade the structure instead. This will obviously add humus, and this will not add humus. And microbial activity will be increased in case of organic fertilizers. While in case of inorganic fertilizers, that will be reduced significantly. The simple reason behind that is microbes survive on organic substances. They degrade them and survive on them, while because that is their basic food, okay. While inorganic fertilizers that are prepared in labs, those are not food for microbes. And that's it. Thank you so much. And you can comment below whatever things you want to study from me in the future, so that will give me a basic perspective of what next can be coming. Thank you so much.